Godzilla evolved versus his Nuke amp form is not close. Are we literally having a discussion where a guy fights himself? Yes. Is this a little stupid? Yeah. But come on now, we like stupid here. But for those who don't know, it's a contentious topic about which amp is stronger, funnily enough. And I wanted to add my spice to the mix. Which amp for Godzilla is more powerful? And your most hated kaiju power scaler, King Churros, will go over their stats and their feats to determine a true winner. Let's begin. You stop right there, pal. May I beg you to subscribe? We are on the way to 3K subscribers. When we hit 3K, we can finally open up the Discord server. And it won't be just any regular smegular server. We'll be hosting game nights, art competitions, ARC servers, and more. And if you want to be part of that, make sure you sub up. And if you expect me to say what you want to say, don't. If you already have a side, I seen the comments. Y'all ain't gonna change your opinions, bro, let's be honest. But regardless, can we agree to have a good time or not? Right? Let's hope so. Well, anyways, let's dive right in. Godzilla got bombed. Man became Patrick, he can't breathe. Due to this, Monarch had to come up with a plan to get Godzilla up and running again, as he was their only option to stopping King Ghidorah, an opponent who wasn't even at his peak and was still able to get the best of Godzilla on a few occasions. So they locked in and gave him a nuclear bomb, and MzRlODBiNWFlZA got that lizard juice and ready for action. Side note, by the way, the Rebirth scene is way better than the Evolve scene. If it were a battle of a better scene, Rebirth wins, mid-diff. Now Godzilla comes to the scene hot. From going relative to kind of subpar to a weakened King Ghidorah, he's now dominating a full-powered King Ghidorah, making King Ghidorah slip over bananas and got him shouting like Whitney Houston. Is them tears, bro? Rick stating Godzilla's going critical mass, and in 12 minutes he was supposedly going to go off like an atom bomb, along with the novel acknowledging the state as a supercharge. This clearly dictates Godzilla's a great bit stronger than his base form, making a Boston Supercharge one of Godzilla's greatest power-ups. Scar King and Shimo are on the rise, and Godzilla ain't trying to do all of that in his base form, so he locks in on his biggest training regimen of his life, absorbing huge amounts of energy to the point his atomic energy can't even be contained by his dorsal plates and is now flowing through his entire body. If he absorbs any more energy, this guy's gonna end up looking like Fat Albert. The amount of radiation he was emitting was melting his path and even kept Jeps away from him, just like debaters and women. Then he goes defeating Tiamat, finessing her DNA and energy, and then absorbing even more energy from the biggest stockpile on Earth. So much energy it started burning him and forcing him to change physically, to now becoming Godzilla evolved. And must I say, Goji's dripped out. I guess the ice do come with age. Godzilla is now more battle hardened, rocking diamond-like armor, and increasing all of his stats, at least 2 times more powerful than his previous French Supercharge. And now he can increase his energy up to 20 times. All of that while being more experienced and more skilled. Yeah, that man Godzilla Evolved is built different. So we talked about their stats, we talked about their feats, so who do I think wins? Well, if you watch me for a while, you might already know, I think Evolve got this in a bag. To start it off, the boy Goji has evolved since the Nuke, and we know he continues to evolve himself through time and training. Energized Godzilla is a power-up in his more healthier and peak body, even considered a supercharge or at least a huge increase to his base, to the point his atomic energy couldn't be contained by his dorsal plates, but now flows through his entire body. This is similar to what he does later in his evolved form, and that's when he's stated to have barely contained energy. This is likely the same here for Energized Godzilla, being the maximum his base body could hold. So bad that the radiation was flowing out of him like burning Godzilla, compared to Nuke Amp, who didn't seem to have that problem. So the case can be made that Energized Godzilla could be more powerful, and Evolve would be stronger than Energized, so that might be just enough. And if that's not enough, let's compare the source of each of their power-ups, huh? With the Boston Supercharge, we know it's from a nuke, likely a stronger nuke than a regular one, especially since it bombs Godzilla's whole crib and made it look like Cleveland without LeBron. The power-up for Evolved is the biggest energy source on the planet, and that's not including the bonus of the French power plant and the supercharged energy from Tiamat. Keep it real with me, gang. How are we gonna justify a nuke from a time period where Heaves didn't exist? The Hollow Earth energy was too much for Monarch, and that's supposed to exceed the largest stockpile of energy on the entire planet Earth, bruh. In the big 25? We serious? So much much energy his body couldn't even handle it all. It started burning him. So we can already draw the comparison to when the Boston Supercharge was about to explode, because that's also when his body couldn't handle that one. And all of that was before bro was even finished evolving, along with a higher energy capacity. Remember, the Boston Supercharge was the max his OG body could take before going kablamo. He now increased it by 20 times, so that's why he's not blowing up this time. Think of it like a drinking cup, right? A 2-gallon cup can at max take 2 gallons before it starts leaking. But if you get a bigger 5-gallon cup, obviously you can fill it up to 2 gallons and still have room for more. This is the same case with Godzilla Evolve. And speaking of that, we do know Evolve can increase his power at will. So he can make himself 2 times stronger, 5 times stronger, maybe even close to his max, like 17 or 18. Although we don't know if he has done that in a movie or when he's done that, but we do know he can do it. So that could be a possible win con for Evolve. The most reasonable argument I've seen against this is that Shimo's being stated being equal to Ghidorah. We see Boston Goji give back shots of doom to Ghidorah while Shimo was hitting home runs with Evolve. And if you believe that, I actually think that's pretty valid. Although I don't believe Shimo's equal to Ghidorah, as nothing officially ever states that they're equals. And via feats I'll mention later, she should definitely be stronger. And if none of that convinced you, we didn't even chat about Supercharged Evolve. Now there's some misconceptions on this power up I think he's sometimes downplayed. Let's go with the lowest end for this matchup. Supposedly, these two are comparable. Yeah, and LeBron supposedly didn't break the laws of physics of nature by being the greatest NBL player of all time. Supercharged Evolve will be able to control the same energy that Nuke was going to blow up from. Just by that alone, Supercharged should one-shot. But here's the thing. The question is clearly referring to burning Godzilla. And I don't know about you, but I don't see how you can confuse an amp that barely changes appearance to one where he's burning orange and melting everything. With further context that burning is what they're referring to, especially with the use of words like release, meaning the explosions or pulses were controlled. And you know, Nuke amp never blew up, so past tense wouldn't make a lot of sense because he never let energy out. And yes, explosions aren't pulses, but it's clear it's just a different use of language. Guides in the novel itself also burning's pulses atomic blast, and a pure definition of blast comes from an explosion, so it's not that crazy to draw the comparison, my gang. Not to mention, he's verbatim stated to have a more powerful atomic breath regardless. And finally, we bring up the energy capacity again, as this is when Evolve uses the absolute maximum. As mentioned earlier, the Boston Supercharge was the max his old body could take, but now his max has increased by 20 times. So Supercharged Evolve is extremely super duply extra moogly with a side of lemonade far more powerful. Godzilla Evolve should take an easy W, with his base being a double supercharged with a significant greater power source, better energy reserves, to add to a superior battle IQ, experience, speed, reaction speeds, agility, and mobility. I say this form wins mid-div, and Supercharged Evolve should slam low to no difficulty. Anywho, I forgot my entire identity and where I am. I lost all meaning of space, time, platonic concepts, and struggles to understand the complexities of this finite universe.
Chicken jockey.
Or whatever that was. I'll catch y'all later.